Greetings and salutations. We, Putera and Aryan, would be delivering you our appraisal of Anne of Green Gables.
Penned by Lucy Maud Montgomery. This book contains 392 pages and it's a book series of 8. Today, we will solely speak of the first book.
This little tale begins with two unmarried siblings, the reserved Matthew Cuthbert and the stern Marilla Cuthbert. This elderly duo live on their ancestral farm, addresses as Green Gables.
The plot kicks in with Matthew in his declining years, having difficulty in handling the farm single-handedly. Hence, the Cuthberts settle the issue by adopting an orphan boy to aid him.
Fate decided otherwise, as to Matthew's surprise, he was met with a red-headed orphan girl at the train station named Anne Shirley, as the orphanage sent her by mistake. Still, Matthew couldn't let the child stay there, so he brought her to Green Gables, and he was charmed by Anne's chattiness and fascination with nature.
He wants to keep her, but his sister Marilla declined as they wanted a boy to help with the farm. But after she consider it and take pity on Anne, she complied.
There, Anne Shirley brought her peculiarity and whimsical in Green Gables.
The narrative of Anne of Green Gables is set in the 1870s. Although the story is fictional, Green Gables is a real place in Prince Edward Island, Canada. Albeit, Avonlea is a fictitious society that is a portrayal of Cavendish, which the Green Gables house can be found. The story structure of Anne of Green Gables isn't a traditional one, it's episodic with different conflict, climax and resolution occurring in each one.
For instance, Anne's and Gilbert's rivalry, the misunderstanding with Diana's mother and aunt, along with Anne attending and participating in concerts.
The initial conflict with Anne is her struggle to adapt her whimsical behavior to the fixed expectance of conventional Avonlea society. As the story progresses, the rising action continues with her blunder in her idyllic notions and conflicting beliefs.
Granting all this, there is one underlying climax which involves her adoptive parents, Marilla and Matthew Cuthbert. The finale arrives with the remarkable achievement accomplished by Anne till a sudden tragedy struck. The falling action continues with Anne's sacrifices for her adoptive parents, and it all resolutes to a touching and open ending. And Shirley, let us acquaint you to our protagonist. Abundant of wonder and fascination, she has her own dream world she likes to live in. From imaginary friends to make-believe haunted forest to love and tragedy tales, she fancies an idyllic life. This can make her a negligent kind, as she is prone to daydreaming, causing trouble to her everyday life.
Beyond her idealistic methods, she is characterized as a sanguine, an optimistic individual in any situation, notably the unpleasant ones. On the condition that you don't make her enrage, as she is a downright unrecognizable to her cheery image. As the story progresses, she toned down and mature, becoming a more balanced individual.
Following that, we have Marilla Cuthbert. She is strict and rigid on the outside but a softie in the inside. She comes to love Anne as a daughter as the story progresses, but she isn't the type to verbalize or express her feelings. Instead, she replies with unamused and sarcastic comments, but there are times she breaks her facade to genuinely express her feelings.
Anne's father figure, Matthew Cuthbert, is a simple and diligent man. One of his oddities is he has a fear of women, but that doesn't stop him from loving Anne. He is a doting father that brings Anne determination and support. Similar to Anne, he is a self-willed, with him making it clear he wants to keep Anne with longing looks instead of arguing and getting Anne to attend a concert when Marilla forbids.
There's a lot of supporting characters to Anne of Gables, with Anne's rival Gilbert, best friend Diana, outspoken Mrs. Lindy, and so much more. We can't talk about them all day, but they do serve a lot to Anne's development as a character.
The writing style of Anne of Green Gables is dogmatic and thorough. Lucy Maud Montgomery wrote extensive description of each scenery and the social interactions, even with descriptions of characters, no matter the relevances, is lengthy with the added bonus of judgments.
This degree of precision helps reader be pulled in, as Avonlea doesn't change drastically, so the fully painted of each scene pulls reader into the world.
Anne of Green Gables achieved with what it is, a slice of life underdog story. The main appeal comes from the character dynamic and state of affairs. Watching them bounce off each other's personalities are endlessly amusing, and the fact that I wish there were more speaks volumes on how much I respect this book.
Anne of Green Gables has a light-hearted tone, but the themes about sense of belonging, home, familiarity, friendships and family really hit home. I merely proposed this book for a delightful read. You might fancy it. Thank you for taking the time to tune in with us. Farewell.